everyone in this lineup stepped high.
There's one, there's two, double play. Yes, he did. My goodness, he struck him out. That ball is gone. Here comes the throw to the plate. He is safe. They will roar here at Citi Field. Game one was dominated by the Dark Knight. One night later, one of baseball's elite pitchers will try to even the score. The 2015 National League Championship Series coverage on TBS is presented by Exxon and Mobil. Moments away from the start of Game 2 of the NLCS between the Cubs and the Mets. Welcome back to Citi Field, everybody. I'm Ernie Johnson along with Cal Ripken and Ron Darling. Simply put, last night, Matt Harvey at his best, Ron.
You know, when you think about it, when he used to pitch here, they used to call it Matt Harvey Day. Well, September, it was like another Matt Harvey story every day. But last night, and in the postseason now, the reins have been taken off, and it hasn't been better all season long. R.A. Dickey, Cy Young Award winner, they parlayed him into Noah Syndergaard, the hard-throwing right-hander. 7 of those wins came out of his 9 came at home, and Travis d'Arnaud, who doesn't have a lot of hits in the postseason, but has 2 huge home runs here at Citi Field last night, almost damaging the apple.
Took it to straightaway center field, and that was a home run that thrilled Mets fans to the core. Hey, okay, so the Cubs lose game 1. They lost game 1 to the Cardinals, too, and then won 3 in a row, and they've got their best going tonight.
Yeah, they're not really worried. It's just one game to them, and they have their ace on the mound in Jake Arrieta, a leading candidate for the Cy Young. Had a great second half. .75 ERA in the second half, 12-0, .99 ERA in the last 15 road starts. I don't have to read all this stuff. He's just really good.
There you go.
They hit the ball really well last night. Sometimes into a little bit of dumb luck. Sometimes the Mets defense kept them off the board. What a great throw from Cespedes last night, cutting down a run here. And this is one of those dumb luck ones if you're the Cubs. Bounces off of Harvey twice and still gets thrown out at first base. And this, an unbelievable play to end the game last night. So they played pretty well. They're optimistic. They got their number 1 on the hill, and they feel pretty good about swinging the bats.
You know, in Cubs franchise history, which dates back to 1876, they've never had a pitcher win 3 games in one postseason. It's never happened. It could tonight if Jake Arrieta wins Game 2 and ties this series at a game apiece. The first pitch coming right up here on TBS. Last championship for the Mets, 1986. Member of our crew remembers those days quite fondly. Ron Darling, a member of that New York team. Citi Field, here we are in New York, 41 degrees. It is a clear night, and it is extremely crisp as we check out the batting order presented by Exxon and Mobil. Dexter Fowler leads it off in center field. Kyle Schwarber going deep in game 1, hits second. Then it's Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo in the cleanup spot, followed by Starlin Castro. Chris Coughlin gets the start in right field. Then it's Miguel Montero, Javier Baez, and Jake Arrieta.
Yeah, on the defensive side, Noah Syndergaard is pitching tonight to Travis d'Arnaud behind the plate. Going around the infield, you got Wilmer Flores and Daniel Murphy, the double play combination with Wright and Duda on the corners. Heading out to the outfield, Michael Conforto's big left-handed bat in the lineup tonight. Cespedes in center, and the red-hot Curtis Granderson in right field.
Well, Noah Syndergaard's first start in the major leagues was at Wrigley Field against the Chicago Cubs, and here he gets them in the postseason. You see 19 home runs allowed. 6 of those came in the first inning. That'll be something to watch. Here as he goes against the powerful Cubbies.
Hey, Ron, Syndergaard says, too, because he was asked about that first start at Wrigley Field. He says, look, it's a night and day kind of thing right now. He says he's changed Mechanically, he's changed. Mentally, what have you seen from him as the season has gone on?
He's just grown up, Ernie and Cal. Right before your eyes, he's gone from a guy who likes to throw 100 miles an hour to a guy who can come in and throw the curveball for a strike. His changeup has gotten better. The maturity and how quick it has come has just been fun to watch.
Let's pay a quick visit before the first pitch to Sam Ryan. Sammy.
And Ernie, you know what? Terry Collins with a slight hesitation before naming Noah Syndergaard as his Game 2 starter. He really wanted to see how he responded after pitching out of the bullpen in Game 5 of the NLCS, something he had never done before. He started Game 2 of that series with the Mets through 115 pitches. And for 2 days after that, Terry said that he was feeling sore, referring to his starter, Noah Syndergaard. So yesterday he waited until he spoke with his young pitcher. Noah walked into his office, said, "I'm not stiff, I'm not sore, I am good to go, guys."
All right, thank you very much, Sam. Syndergaard finishing up his warm-up tosses. He throws hard through 1,421 pitches this season of at least 95 miles an hour.
How many 100 miles an hour? That's what I want to know.
It'll be interesting, Cal, is that he was given the blueprint on how to go against this Chicago Cubs team by Harvey last night. A lot of change-ups, a lot of breaking balls early. Let's see if Syndergaard also tries to do that in the first.
Dexter Fowler steps in to lead it off. Glad you're with us here for Game 2 of the National League Championship Series. And the first pitch swung on and missed. And we are underway. Fowler went 0 for 4 in the opener. Hitting .250 in this postseason. And he swung through that 0-2. 98.
The 4 hammers are out. Good move there by Fowler. Quiet the crowd down. Slow Syndergaard down.
The 0-2.
Yeah, it's interesting when you're at the plate, and my experience in Yankee Stadium, when you get 2 strikes and the fans start yelling for the strikeout, you want to quiet that down. You want to get out of the box and say, okay, I'll make you start all over again.
Fowler waiting on Syndergaard. And again, fouls it back.
One great thing about Major League hitters, doesn't matter how hard you throw, the more fastballs he's seen, the better Fowler's swings have been.
And that's what Don Mattingly said in the other series. Once you're facing velocity, you start to get used to that as a team.
Took it off. 81 miles with the curveball and missed. A ball and 2 strikes. Fowler's been a great leadoff hitter for Joe Madden. 4th in runs scored in the National League with 102. Number 7 in walks with 84. He will strike out. And he watches that one 2-2.
That was really impressive, laying off that changeup.
Curveball changeup combination. Changeup at 90 miles an hour.
Here comes the heat right now.
Well hit. Murphy plays it off his chest and throws it out. Well, the guy who ended Game 1 with a spectacular diving stop has the first ball hit to him here in Game 2.
He just made himself, Cal, into kind of a roadblock on that. And you talked about in the open, another bullet off the bat of the Cubs right at him.
Good swing, good at bat overall. Gives the second and the third hitter a chance to see what he's got working.
Well, here's Kyle Schwarber. Curveball to start him off. 0-1.
Yeah, Schwarber said something yesterday talking about Harvey ready for the heat, and he came with the off-speed pitches right away, and he's behind in the count.
Tried to check, and he couldn't. Eric Cooper down there at third base said he went. Tim Timmons is behind the plate. Ted Barrett at first, Paul Emmel at second, Cooper at third, Bill Miller down the left field line as Schwarber goes down swinging. Rob Drake is the umpire down the right field line. 2 up and 2 down here in the first.
Well, after that home run and the fastball last night, curveball, changeup.
I was about to say the exact same thing. They tried to sneak a fastball past him a couple times last night. Couldn't get it past him.
Now here's Chris Bryant. He was 0 for 3 in the opener. Bryant just 3 for 23 in this postseason, which includes the Cardinals series and that wild card win over the Pittsburgh Pirates. He does have a home run, a couple runs batted in. A 26 home run, 99 RBI guy during the regular season, and pretty much a lock to win National League Rookie of the Year. Chevrolet Pitch Tracks.
Shocking, 2/3 come with that heat.
The 1-1. In the air, into right, but out of play.
The wind is really blowing from left to right, so anything down that line is going to blow into the stands.
I know we talked about this last night with Harvey, but I think it's so critical to establish your pitches early in the game. Syndergaard has actually got some curveballs over the plate, thrown some really good changeups and some really good fastballs. So you leave that thought in the hitter's mind.
Missed with a breaking pitch. Count even 2-2.
It's especially important with 2 strikes. If you got to cover all 3 of those, you're in trouble.
Well hit, base hit into left. So Bryant aboard with 2 down here in the first.
Again, he tries to sneak a fastball past him. And Bryant shows how quick his hands are.
Again, a cool evening here at Citi Field. Cooler than it was last night with that breeze blowing, and kind of played tricks last night. The ball Darno hit out, ball Schwarber hit out. There was a ball that Flores hit down the line and left that both dugouts thought was going to be gone, and it's like it hit a brick wall out there in left last night.
Well, this is part of the game you have to watch. Syndergaard gave up 60 runs this year, 14 in the first inning. One of the reasons he's very vulnerable to the stolen base.
You think about Bryant and all of his power numbers, you almost overlook the fact he stole 13 bags in his rookie season. Rizzo waiting on a 1-0 from Syndergaard. And that's over for a strike. Count even.
Rizzo just trying not to get drilled all night tonight like he did last night. Hit by a pitch, hit on the hand, trying to get back to first base.
Yeah, talk about unlucky. It wasn't about hitting balls at people. It was about him getting hit.
Opponents successful. 17 out of 18 stolen bases, including the postseason, with Syndergaard on the mound. He fooled him there with the change. 1-2.
You might let Rizzo swing the bat early in the count, but once he's gotten 2 strikes now, it might be a nice opportunity to try a steal.
Missed down low, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Anthony Rizzo, when he first came up, he looked like a guy who was just going to be a power hitter. He is just a complete hitter now.
Complete player all the way around.
Yes, he is.
Really good at first base.
We await the 20th pitch of the first inning by Noah Syndergaard. Runner going, and Rizzo strikes out. 2 strikeouts in the first for Syndergaard as the Mets come to the plate. All right, back here at Citi Field. Tonight's batting order for the Mets presented by Exxon and Mobil. Curtis Granderson once again in the leadoff spot, followed by David Wright. Daniel Murphy been in the middle of everything in this postseason for the Mets. Hits third. Then it's Cespedes in the cleanup spot. Lucas Duda trying to break out of a prolonged slump in the 5-hole. Then it's Travis d'Arnaud, Michael Conforto, Wilmer Flores, and Noah Syndergaard doing the pitching. There is Jake Arrieta, maybe the Cy Young Award winner in the National League.
Well, you saw his numbers. Cal told you his last 15 road starts, 12-0.
Inside to Granderson, 1-0.
And how about no sleeves on a night like this?
This is missing his location by a long way, isn't it?
Possibly.
I think it was designed to go away.
Shift is out for Granderson early.
There's a strike to even the count at 1-1.
As unhittable as he seemed at the second half, he shows a little vulnerability in the playoffs.
That little cutter that he'll throw. He's got like 2 or 3 different styles of breaking pitches. Cutter, slider, a bigger curve to go along with that sinking fastball.
Granderson waiting on a 1-2. Breaking pitch stayed outside. 2-2. Granderson with 7 runs batted in the postseason. 2 of those last night, as the Mets took the opener 4-2. That ball's going to get into right field through the shift for a leadoff single. Matt Weiner also with us tonight. Matt, what you got?
Hey, Jake. Jake Arrieta is 2-0 in the postseason so far, but as Cal mentioned, for the first time in months, he has pitched like a carbon-based life form, including giving up 4 earned runs in 5 2/3 innings in Game 3 of the NLDS when he uncharacteristically lacks command. Fatigue, possibly a factor. He's pitched more than 243 innings. That's nearly 90 more than his previous career high, but short-term fatigue might be the thing. He told me he's learning to adjust to playoff atmospheres and learning to acclimate himself to them to handle the environments. A change he said he would make today would be to plan beginning his preparations later in the day because the adrenaline would already be flowing.
I remember him speaking after that wild card game that it was even more intense than he thought it was going to be in Pittsburgh. He went the distance in that game. Upstairs to David Wright, 2-0.
That was telling about his feelings in there by admitting that afterwards, that atmosphere, that environment in Pittsburgh got to him a little bit.
Arrieta has not allowed a run in his last 25 starts, and that includes the 2 in the postseason. David Wright's been struggling at the plate, and he cuts through that, 2-1. Wright 1 for 19 in the postseason. That's an 0.53 clip, but he did have that big hit in Game 1 in Los Angeles. Granderson with the lead at first. Arrieta at the belt. There goes Granderson. Fly ball center field. Pretty well hit. Fowler goes back. He won't get there. Granderson will score easily. Wright standing at second with an RBI double. After 25 starts without allowing a run in the first inning, the Mets get to Arrieta here in Game 2.
Looks like a fastball just out over the plate. And that's 2 balls hit really hard off of Arrieta.
You know,
Fowler was playing a little shallow, kind of got lost on the way back. And maybe it's because the wind feels like it's hitting you. It doesn't seem like the ball carried, but that ball carried pretty well.
Just like Castro's ball over Lagares said in yesterday's ball game.
Here's Daniel Murphy. Well, what has Daniel Murphy not done in this postseason?
Swing and miss, I don't think.
That was the first.
Now he has.
Hitting .320, 4 home runs, and 6 runs batted in. He's homered in 3 straight postseason games. That's deep to right. Keep your eye on it. Foul ball.
A little cutter left over the plate by Lester, and he went up in the Pepsi porch. Very rarely do you see a ball hit by Murph up there.
Arrieta's ahead. No balls and 2 strikes. Right with a lead at second. Tried to check his swing, and he did.
It's interesting that Murphy is hitting most of these pitches middle of the plate in. Only at bat he did not look good on yesterday was the ball away. That was away there.
That's in the air to right. That's pretty deep. That ball is gone. Daniel Murphy has struck again.
What did Matt Weiner say about a carbon-based life form? Murph is in a tree right now.
They're demanding a curtain call here at Citi Field as Cespedes steps in and watches that one 1-0. Here he comes. Arrieta into the wind. And there's a strike, 1-1. 3 Mets to the plate here in the first. 3 hits. 3 runs. Single by Granderson, double by Wright. Home run for Daniel Murphy.
I think it really tells you how the wind is really rushing out to right field. Murph didn't really catch that like he caught the pitch yesterday, but kind of just blew it right over that right field wall.
Cespedes was 0 for 4 in the opener, struck out twice. And he has struck out 10 times in the postseason, hitting just .208. But he has hit 2 home runs. Nibbled, missed, 3-2.
It seems like his velocity is down just a bit in this first inning. I've been watching pretty carefully the radar gun. 93, 94, I think he's hit 95 once.
Cespedes pops it up. Rizzo, long run, and just does make the catch.
This is a curveball. It stays, well, actually it's a pretty good curveball. I thought it stayed up a little more. He gets out in front, almost one-hands it, get a little extra extension from the bottom hand, and sneaks it right inside the foul pole.
Well, here's Lucas Duda. 2 for 18 in the postseason, 11 strikeouts. Came in to play first last night, didn't start. Been a lot of talk about Daniel Murphy over the past couple of days, and I heard about the curse of the GOAT with the Chicago Cubs, and the GOAT was named Murphy.
Well, it doesn't matter if it's a regular season game or a postseason game. Jake Arrieta has been so good this year, you've got to consider the team you're playing for. They can score tons of runs. Just go back to basics, hold the Mets here, and wait for your offense to get going.
The 0-2. Oh, when you think back to game one of this series, too, it's like they brought the tying run to the plate in the ninth inning. And as Cal pointed out as we came on the air, a lot of balls hit right at him. And Schwarber did go deep. That's inside to Duda. 2-2. But the Cubs managing just 5 hits in the opener, 2-5-0. The Mets 4-8-1. And Mets pitching with 10 strikeouts, which is not a big surprise against a Cub team that led baseball in that department. And Duda, for the 12th time in this postseason, a strikeout victim. Another look at the home run by Daniel Murphy.
Top step in it.
That's the Cubs' Jason Mott of SMH. Shaking my head.
Well, it was interesting on that swing by Murphy. He one-handed it, like you said. It's almost like he back-legged it, dropped his back knee down so he could get down to hit that ball. We've seen Adrian Beltre do that for the Texas Rangers at times.
Quite a few times.
Yeah.
Arrieta's got the movement back on his fastball a little bit. The pitch he struck Duda out with had a nice run on it at 94. That ball had a nice run on it as well.
Travis d'Arnaud waiting on a 2-0. He homered last night. 2 balls and 1 strike. Of course, that was that shot to straightaway center field. It hit the apple. And they put a Band-Aid over it today.
Did it really put a hole in the apple? Just a cute idea.
I think it was probably just for effect. Three balls, 1 strike to the Mets catcher. So that was the Band-Aid. They had it there in pregame, but have since taken it off. Better when the air gets to it, I assume.
It's an advertising opportunity there.
You're always thinking, Iron Man. 3-2. And strike 3 called to d'Arnaud. But the Mets get on the board with a homer from guess who? Daniel Murphy. A 3-run first. We'll be back. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Everything Goodyear has learned making tires that go the distance inspires what they roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven. Top half of the second inning. Daniel Murphy has homered twice off Clayton Kershaw. Took Zach Greinke deep, John Lester, and now Jake Arrieta.
Oh, bottom dweller, huh?
Noah Syndergaard facing Starlin Castro as we move to the top half of the second inning.
Castro took some nice at-bats. That double to center field and a line drive out to Murphy.
Always talk about the shutdown innings after your team gets you on the board. And the Mets providing Syndergaard with 3 in the first. 2.58 the ERA for the rookie.
His ERA during the regular season 3.24, so a little better in shutdown innings as Arrieta tries to compose himself.
Fouled back by Castro. The count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Castro wearing number 13 says, "You may think it's unlucky, but it's not unlucky for me." 3-time All-Star. Made the transition from everyday shortstop to second baseman. 2-2.
Well, the Cubs are making Syndergaard work here. 25 pitches, no outs here in the second.
I'm trying to figure out why Castro was rubbing dirt on his hands. Sometimes the pine tar gets a little too sticky. Gotta take a little off.
Had a notion and held up. And down at first, Ted Barrett said, "No swing."
I gotta imagine this is gonna look like more like a swing from the side here, but no, he held it up nice. A lot of body movement, but he held his hands back really nice.
On the ground to third, David Wright. 1 down.
Hits this ball pretty well. That last hop almost bit him, but he caught it and then made a nice little sidearm flip to first. We used to call that a dead fish. I don't know if they use that terminology anymore.
Just for my handshake.
Good one.
All in jest. Chris Coughlin, starting right fielder for Chicago tonight. Breaking pitch and a pretty one. 0-1.
When I mentioned earlier that Syndergaard's first start was at Wrigley Field against the Cubs, Coughlin got him for a home run. That's why he's in the lineup.
Coughlin was the National League Rookie of the Year back in 2009 with the Marlins. Then he had a serious left knee injury the next year, and it bothered him for a season or 2. That's in the air to right field. Granderson is back at the track, at the wall, leaping, and he made that catch. Granderson timed it perfectly. That ball just kept going and going.
I thought Coughlin thought he got this one. A 2-strike fastball, first fastball he sees. I thought it hung up a little bit. It didn't carry as well. Nice time jump.
See him feeling for that wall. And the good veteran outfielders know how much room they have before they got to that wall.
Ronnie, I know you know that feeling. When they have one of your fielders save you one, as Granderson did for Syndergaard. Here's Montero.
If you're pitching and your first start in the major league, someone took you deep and he hits another one like that, and Coughlin's like dumbfounded. You gotta be kidding me.
His reaction when he hit it, thought he got it. Thought he got enough to get it out of here.
0-1 to Montero. No balls and 2 strikes. Here's another look. Granderson going high to the orange padding to take that one away from Coughlin.
We got an 8-foot high fence out there?
8 foot high. Granderson's been here 2 years. First time he's ever brought one back.
He picked a good time. If you ask Mets fans. Inside corner, strike 3 called. And Syndergaard has his 3rd strikeout. We head to the bottom of the 2nd. We welcome you back. ALCS resumes tomorrow. FS1 has got the Royals and Blue Jays at 8. Game 4 is Tuesday afternoon at 4 on FS1. We're back at you on TBS with Game 3, 8 o'clock here on TBS. We'll be at Wrigley Field. Bottom half of the 2nd. Jake Arrieta goes back to work. Facing Michael Conforto, who's shortened up as if to bunt. Wouldn't have been a bad idea. Baez, the only infielder on the left side, playing a deep short.
We saw Granderson yesterday leading off the ball game try to do it twice.
You got to leave some doubt in that shift. You just can't go over there and play as far back as they want. Still think we might see an actual bunt against the shift in this series.
Missed with the 1-1. 2 balls and 1 strike. Last time Jake Arrieta found himself down 3-0 in a game, it was July 25th. And that was the game when Cole Hamels, still with the Phillies, no-hit him. That's the last game Arrieta lost. July 25th. It's been that dominant a season and that great a second half for Arrieta. 22 wins in the regular season, 2 here in the post, and as we pointed out as we came on the air, there's never been a Cubs pitcher to win 3 games in a single postseason, ever. He can be the first tonight. But the Cubs are going to have to come back to do it. Conforto goes down swinging for out number 1. Now, Tom Goodwin, the first base coach of the Mets, wearing a wire tonight. Check this out.
Atta baby! Nice job, baby. Got no outs. 3's on line. Paul, how you doing?
That's called unbridled enthusiasm.
Oh, yes, it is.
Tom Goodwin's
I thought it was a little bridled.
Line drive to second, right in the glove of Castro for the 2nd out. 4th season as the Mets first base coach here in 2015. 369 career stolen bases and stole home 3 times, did Tom Goodwin.
He could fly down to first base.
Known more as a single hitter, but I'm in his book. Took me deep.
Last stop in his career was the Chicago Cubs. There's Noah Syndergaard. Another of those Mets pitchers who likes to swing the bat. Went 3 for 3 in a game against the Phillies with a home run.
They got a right-hander, DeGrom, who hits left-handed. Syndergaard, right-handed, hits left-handed. Zach Wheeler, who'll be back at the All-Star break, a right-hander that swings left-handed. And Steven Matz, who throws left-handed but hits right-handed.
1-2 to the Mets starting pitcher. Every time I see Syndergaard and DeGrom, I think of Dennis Eckersley and the admiration he would have for the moss. These two guys are sporting. Count full. There's DeGrom, who gets the ball Tuesday at Wrigley Field. 1-2-3 inning for Jake Arrieta. 2 innings in the books. Mets with the early lead. Here's a look at tonight's forecaster presented by FanDuel. 60% of all the pitches thrown in the regular season by Noah Syndergaard, 95 or above. And here it is tonight, Ron.
Yeah, he is a Texas gunslinger, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed. Triple digits right there.
Only you could find something bad out of that graphic.
I just want to see 100. We got to have something different than the Flames for 100. What could we have?
Javier Baez leads it off in the third. Maybe the whole graphic would just explode.
That's good. I like that. The whole box explodes.
The 1-0. Baez in there as the starting shortstop for the Cubs due to the injury to Addison Russell. Rookie shortstop who, legging out a triple, pulled a hamstring in the Cardinals series in Game 3 and still unable to go for the NLCS.
That's got to be killing him. Got a chance to play, was playing really well. Good chance to be in the playoffs.
Baez has impressed too. I mean, you got Baez, you got Castro, you got Russell up the middle. Can move him around, and that's right off the end of the bat as Baez stays alive.
Well, you asked a lot of people associated with the Cubs. They said once Russell moved to shortstop, this team took off. He was almost, even at 21 years old, the rock of that defense.
The 1-2. Swung on and missed. Strikeout number 4 for Syndergaard. The StatCast, powered by Amazon Web Services, got a breakdown of the catch by Curtis Granderson.
I want to see the vertical on the StatCast on that. How high did he get?
9 feet 3 inches.
All right.
That came in the second. We are playing in the third, and Jake Arrieta steps in.
I'm beginning to think we won't see 100 miles an hour tonight from him. And remember, he came in relief, and he also got up, 4 times in the pen.
Ball and 2 strikes. That was a decision that Terry Collins made, which was a lot of thought went into that. Do I use this kid in that setting in Los Angeles? In that decisive 5th game, he went with his gut. Turned out great.
Well, they were going through the middle of the lineup, which includes Adrian Gonzalez, and he had to go with the best arm that he had, and that night it was Syndergaard.
Breaking pitch. Stayed high. 2-2. Arrieta can swing the bat. 2 home runs in the regular season. But he strikes out here. Handful of strikeouts for Syndergaard. 2 down here in the third.
Well, just blew him away with the 4-seam fastball upstairs. So the first time through the lineup, 5 strikeouts for Syndergaard. 5 strikeouts last night for Matt Harvey. First time through the lineup.
Back to the top of the order now in Dexter Fowler, who grounded sharply to second his first time. It's a ball that Daniel Murphy just sacrificed the body, knocked it down, and threw him out.
Curveball first pitch, then comes back with a 1-0 changeup. He's done a good job of getting those secondary pitches over so he can utilize his fastball with 2 strikes.
The wiggle of the finger is the 2-seamer.
Over for a strike, 2-1.
2-seamer for Syndergaard will have a little bit of run on it, a little bit of sink, but he throws so hard it doesn't have any time to sink.
Syndergaard has allowed only 1 base runner. First inning single by Chris Bryant. And now he issues the 2-out walk to Dexter Fowler here in the 3rd.
Well, that's what makes this Cubs team so dangerous, is you think you're going to have an easier inning. You get behind a hitter, you give up a base on balls, and you're facing a guy like Schwarber.
This is what he did in game 1. A mammoth shot to right center field.
Probably thinking, I wonder if I'm going to get a fastball this time.
You always seem to be one swing away from getting back in the game.
Fowler edges away from first, and here's the pitch. Big cut. Came up empty. 0-1. Cubs have scored 26 runs in the postseason, 19 of them via the home run. That's a 73% figure. And of course, Schwarber with a solo shot last night. And Syndergaard jumps out ahead. No balls and 2 strikes.
It's almost like the game plan coming in and said, we are not throwing this kid a fastball unless we have to. 2 straight breaking balls by Syndergaard.
You can learn that from Harvey last night. He had a good fastball, and then trying to get a fastball up in the strike zone, left it over the plate. Line drive right past his ear. So he's ready and geared for the fastball. 5 straight off-speed pitches to him.
It was just a show pitch outside. No intention of throwing that first strike. Probably back to the changeup or curveball. 459 on the home run last night. That's the throw over sign. Fowler on first, lots of speed. It's funny when you see that sign. That used to be a sign in the olden days of hit the batter. And now it's changed it to throw it over.
I don't think they give any sign anymore to hit the batter.
That's right.
Because it can be seen on TV.
One-two to Schwarber. Strike 3 called. 3 Cubs down on strikes in the 3rd. We head to the bottom half. Let's take a look at tonight's playmakers presented by Chrysler. The guy who will lead it off for the Mets here in the bottom half of the 3rd, Curtis Granderson, hitting .409. Look at that on-base percentage, and 7 runs batted in, and he's reached safely in all 7 Mets playoff games, including tonight when he singled to lead off the bottom of the 1st. He scored on a David Wright double, and then Daniel Murphy unloaded a 2-run shot to make it 3-0. So those 3 come to the plate here in the 3rd.
You know what's interesting about Granderson? You've heard of a Renaissance man. It's like a Renaissance player. When he was with Detroit, it was triples and steals. With the Yankees, over 80 home runs in 2 years. And now back to an on-base percentage guy.
Still with a lot of home runs, though. 26 bombs this year.
He was traded, member, for Austin Jackson, who's now a member of the Chicago Cubs. And in his career, Granderson now 11 for 31 against Arrieta with 3 home runs, and those 3 came when he was with the Yankees and Arrieta was with the Orioles. Arrieta was a different pitcher then. Granderson draws a leadoff walk in the third. Every time you've looked up, guys, Granderson has been on base.
Before we did that wild card game, Joe Madden said to us, what was the most impressive thing about Jake Arrieta? He said his fastball command since August has been impeccable. Outrageous, to use the Joe Madden word. It has not been so far early in this game.
I thought he started to right himself here after he gave up the home run. Started to get a command of his fastball. The fastball was moving, mixed in some changeups and breaking balls.
Yeah, he had set down the last 6 he faced after the Murphy home run. But Granderson draws a walk to lead off the third, and here's Wright, who doubled him home his first time.
I saw David Wright hitting early in the cage today. Looked like he was starting to work on something. And then out here on the field, he was hitting every ball to right field. Trying to stay inside the balls, trying to let the ball get a little bit closer to him. That's his strength, is to the opposite field. He was making a committed effort to do just that during batting practice.
Wow, there was a bullet on the check swing right into the crowd and right past Daniel Murphy in the on-deck circle.
Well, we mentioned before, Syndergaard is vulnerable to the stolen base. So is Arrieta. 82% success rate against Jake. Mets don't run a lot. Granderson, one of their few threats. A step off. You don't see that very often anymore.
Did you have a sign for that when you played?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did too. A step off. I thought it was kind of ridiculous.
Exactly. Totally agree on that one.
The 0-2 missed inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes to David Wright, who has 2 postseason hits and both have produced runs.
Although a step off, a quick step off done right, could give you an indication in a bunting situation where the guy squares.
There goes Granderson. Strike 3, the throw in the dirt. And Granderson in safely.
Well, it wasn't a great jump, Cal. And a look in, too.
I thought it was a pretty good jump. Ball on the short hop.
Granderson slid right into the foot of Castro.
That's a popular thing now with middle infielders, to get in front of the bag and try to let the ball travel and reach back. I still would prefer the straddle of the bag. Gives you a better athletic position, maybe on that one, to kind of lean back a little bit, buy yourself some time to pick that and then put the tag straight down.
Travis Wood loosening in the Chicago pen as Jake Arrieta works here in the third.
There's no place for Granderson to put his foot.
What did Joe Madden tell us? In the postseason, you can become very intolerant of starting pitching. Usually you don't have to worry about that when Arrieta's on the mound.
Well, the red-hot Daniel Murphy will be walked to get to Yoenis Cespedes.
I'm shaking my head. To walk Murphy to get to Cespedes.
I think Arrieta was thinking that too. That's why they had a conference out on the mound to say, what? Joe Madden's not afraid to do something that is a little unorthodox.
Well, I'll tell you right now, Arrieta wasn't intentionally walking anyone in the second half of the season.
I don't think he really wanted to there either.
A rabid Mets fan, Jerry Seinfeld, among the 44,000 plus, enjoying every second of the first 2 games here in the NLCS.
Jimmy Kimmel threw out the first ball. Comedians love the Mets. They can be comedic at times. Not this October.
Cespedes has homered once off Arrieta in his career. It came this year while Cespedes was still with the Tigers. Chris Bosio's meeting on the mound is over. So Daniel Murphy, who homered for the 4th time in this postseason, in the first, a 2-run shot, intentionally walked. He's at first, Granderson at second, 1 out, and here's Cespedes. The homer tonight, the 5th for Daniel Murphy.
He's taking a lead off, looking at Granderson, making sure if he does go, he wants to get a good break as well to get to second base.
The 1-0. There goes Granderson. There's the throw. It's late.
So they were communicating, but I guess they got the communication wrong a little bit.
Murphy must have lost his nerve. Granderson did not. Well, we saw it last night with Lagares. I think the Cubs are falling asleep a little bit, holding those runners close to second base, and the Mets are taking advantage of it.
The Mets stole third 5 times in the regular season. That's 3 in the post. And 2 of those have scored. Granderson would be the 3rd. They're at the corners. Cespedes waits and fouls it away. You talked about Granderson being one of the few stolen base threats for the Mets. He swiped second and third here in the 3rd.
You can take chances when you're playing with a 3-0 lead. A little different when it's 0-0.
With Murphy not going, though, the double play still in order.
On the ground, in the hole. No play. Run scores, 4-0.
Well, that's a Curtis Granderson run right there, Cal.
Gets to third base. This is a hard hit ball in the hole. Outside chance of throwing Murphy out at second base. Not much of a chance, I think, getting Cespedes.
And that's one you got to really just stick in your pocket.
So now a 4-0 game. Runners at first and second. 1 out for Lucas Duda. He takes a strikeout victim his first time. The struggle here in the postseason continuing. He's 2 for 19 with 12 strikeouts. Arrieta to the plate. That ball bounces away, but Montero keeps it in front, and the runners stay put.
Not really a block there, just fooled there by Montero. Just backhanded and lucky, kept in front of him.
Joe Maddon's been fighting a cold and flu kind of thing, and this isn't making him feel much better here in Game 2.
When Kelly Johnson was traded over to the Mets with Juan Uribe, Lucas Duda went into Terry Collins' office and said, "Are these guys here to play first base?" Terry Collins said to Lucas Duda, "It's a complete meritocracy now. If you hit, you will play." And yesterday taken out of the lineup, but put back in today to try to produce.
Yeah, basically the answer is, that's up to you. And he's had a few of those tears this year with multiple home runs in a short time span. But he has struggled here in the postseason. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 on and 1 in here in the third. Popped him up. That is a long run for Baez, and he makes the play. Here's the Granderson steal of third with our StatCast numbers, presented by Amazon Web Services.
You notice that double clutch by Montero.
3.9 seconds. That's not extremely fast. He got up to 20 miles an hour, though.
Curtis Granderson staying warm in that dugout. Chilly night here in New York. Curtis told me before the game it's on defense where it really takes its toll. You're in certain parts of the ballpark and the wind is hitting you a little worse than others.
Well, I think that's why with the pop-up by Duda, the umpires did not call for the infield fly rule, because it's just so difficult right now on anything in the air.
Darno slaps it to second. And Castro makes the play. But the Mets add on to their lead. Curtis Granderson in the middle of it again. It's 4-0. 2015 National League Championship Series coverage on TBS presented by Exxon and Mobil. We move to the top half of the 4th inning. Mets now on top, 4-0. Curtis Granderson scored in the bottom half of the 3rd after a leadoff walk, and he stole a couple of bags.
See the shift for the Mets. Murphy up the middle. Right side open, just Duda.
Here's Chris Bryant, who has the only Chicago hit. A 2-out single in the 1st. Chris Bryant made a video in Chicago for a driving service there where he took the wheel and had unsuspecting passengers riding with him, making small talk about the Chicago Cubs. And he finally had to reveal to them. They'd say, yeah, I know there's this Bryant who's pretty good. He told one passenger, yeah, I'm really a big baseball fan. I really want to play baseball. And the guy said, then why aren't you in the big leagues? He said, well, I am. I play third base for the Cubs. Two balls and 2 strikes. In the air to left center field and playable. And Cespedes cutting in front of Conforto to make the play. Moments ago, Sam Ryan spoke with Mets manager Terry Collins.
Terry, Noah told you he was ready. He's got the velocity. What do you see from him tonight?
Well, he's been so good in the last month that, I thought when we rested him, he's come back, and boy, his command's been good. And tonight's tough to pitch with the cold weather, but he's throwing the ball great.
We see it from Daniel again tonight. David, as a big smile on your face, David gets a hit. Curtis has been doing it all postseason, but what about the intensity you see from him tonight?
Well, I'll tell you, our guys came ready to play. They're so excited to be in this spot, and we got to, David, that may get him going tonight. So if we can get Lucas start to swing the bat, we're going to be dangerous.
Thanks a lot, Terry.
You bet.
Anthony Rizzo waiting and takes a strike from Syndergaard, 1-1. Rizzo struck out his first time. It's 3 for 21 in the postseason.
Noah's not hitting the middle of the plate.
Well,
he's living outside, living down.
Yeah, down is the key. The theme of his pitching so far. He's had that pitch around knees most of the night.
On the ground, but just foul past first. Rizzo black and blue from April through October, leading baseball and being hit by pitches. And he pops this one up. 2 down.
Yeah, the wind must be moving the ball. Wright's caught 1,000 of those balls coming in. He was a little unsteady, making sure he had a good look at it. The wind must be playing with the ball when it gets up.
No, 2 up, 2 down here in the fourth. And here's Starlin Castro. He's giving the Cubs some good at-bats here in the postseason. Only regular who hasn't struck out.
He swung the bat better than a 217 average. He stung the ball pretty well.
Paint 0-2.
Looked like a two-seamer. Ran back over the middle early in the count, and that looked like it's a 4-seamer right on the outside edge.
Little dribbler up the line. Duda gloves it. Makes the tag for out number 3. That ball was right on the line. Duda trying to get to it before it went foul. And that's out number 3. Official caps, hoodies, jackets, and more. Celebrate with your favorite team at the MLB.com shop. They're bundled up here at Citi Field. Temperature around 40 degrees. Bottom half of the fourth inning, Michael Conforto leads it off against Jake Arrieta.
Well, it seems like the Cubs, this is the play we were talking about that ended the inning. Duda did a nice job of keeping that ball in play.
It was going to go foul. He got there quick enough to catch it on the line and get the tag out.
I was going to say the Cubs seem to have all of their young talent that are hitters in the big leagues right now. Well, this is the player the Mets think is going to be their best everyday player at some point.
Two balls, one strike to the 22-year-old. Into the shift. One down. Moments ago, Matt Weiner spoke with Cubs manager Joe Madden.
Joe, obviously the Mets got to Jake early, and his velocity appears to be down as well. What was his biggest issue, or what has it been so far?
Well, Murphy's homer. That's been the biggest issue so far. You're right. I see the numbers. If the gun is right, we might be down a mile per hour or 2 on occasion. The swing, the reaction of the hitter is a little bit different. They're on a little bit more than I normally see, but they've had good at-bats against them.
Thanks, Joe.
You got it, man.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Joe. Wilmer Flores. The ball and no strikes as he faces Arrieta here in the fourth.
His last 2 pitches, 91. That's not his changeup. Maybe he's trying to cut the ball, but that fastball's a little lower. Talk about velocity. Normally it's 94. That's a cutter signal.
And it's pitch number 72, and it's a strike 2-1.
I think he took some off of that pitch. What problem that Arrieta presents to you is that he pitches on that third base side of the rubber, throws across his body, so it makes it very difficult on the right-handed hitters. It's almost like he decided, I don't have my good fastball. I'm going to start cutting the ball and sinking it. See where his foot is placed. Very simple mechanics, almost like he's in the stretch. He just steps back very simply and then proceeds to pitch.
2-2. And he struck him out. Strikeout number 6 for Arrieta.
So this is the two-seamer. Set him up with a couple of cutters, sliders. Now he makes the ball go the other direction at 93.
Nice leg kick. Watch where his right foot ends up. Left foot, sorry. That's way across his body. You can see the other spot. That's where Syndergaard's foot lands.
And here is Syndergaard, who swings and misses 0-1.
He is creating an angle that goes away from a right-hand hitter. It helps his cutter or slider. But I got to imagine there's not a whole lot of pitchers that step in the same spot that he does.
Yeah, he never has to worry about fixing a hole. It's his.
Arrieta, 5th round pick by the Orioles back in 2007. Took him a while to get his sea legs in the big leagues. Had a losing record with the Orioles and then came over to the Cubs. And it's been a 10-5 2014 and a 22-6 record this year. On the ground to second. That's the easiest inning yet for Arrieta. Still a 4-0 game as we head to the 5th. Images of the Mets Museum here at Citi Field, including the autographed Ron Darling Mets jersey.
We always kid of all the uniforms the Mets have had in the 80s. That's about as bad as they got.
No. Proud member of that 86 World Championship team.
I like the Gold Glove Award. Well deserved.
Thank you.
I saw you pick it.
Well, by the end, when you were watching me, I had to pick it. So many bullets coming through the box.
Here's Chris Coughlin. Leading off in the 5th.
Well, a little different ring than they have nowadays for the winners, right? About a third of the size.
Coughlin takes down low, so he took Syndergaard deep in his first start this year and then darn near did it again here in game 2. Curtis Granderson took one away. That came in the second.
When you can turn on an 0-2 fastball like that, he's got now a chance to go 3-1 and look just dead red.
Broke his bat. Right. Cut it off. Nice play. Got him. If that ball gets past right to Flores, I don't know if they throw out Coughlin.
Pitch had a lot of run on it. A lot of action.
This is a man with a spinal stenosis condition. What a play. Cold weather.
Yeah, that limited right to 38 games this year. Makes the play there to open up the 5th. And here's Miguel Montero. Took a called third strike his first time. Syndergaard has struck out 6. His high this year is 13 against Arizona. Whoa, breaking pitch, he did not go. That was tantalizing.
Everything went in Montero's body except the bat.
See if it works again. 2-1.
Well, it catches the inside part of our box, but when the catcher's sitting outside and the ball is backhanded, very rarely called by the umpire.
Threw it past him at 97. Well, of the 13 batters and 2 strikeouts retired by the Mets rookie. 7 strikeout, 2 down.
Look at Montero shaking his head saying, I was in a 2-1 count, fastball count. He threw it by me, and on 2-2 he threw by me again.
I think that was a lot was set up by his first at bat. Saw quite a few off-speed pitches. Syndergaard makes the adjustment and goes to the fastball. Right on the outside corner.
Here's Javier Baez with 2 down. Tommy La Stella has a bat. He's in the on-deck circle and would hit for Jake Arrieta. And quickly, Syndergaard out in front, 0-2. Two more strikeouts for Syndergaard here in the 5th. He is shutting out the Cubs in Game 2.
We've been talking about Murphy a lot, but Curtis Granderson has had a great postseason with the bat. Chris Coughlin will tell you, with the glove and on the base path, stealing second base and then third base consecutively to get in scoring position and score on the infield hit by Cespedes.
That came in the 3rd, gave the Mets a 4-0 lead, and here in the 5th, he leads it off against Jake Arrieta. They were ready to pinch hit for him, but that 1-2-3 inning has Arrieta back on the mound. Arrieta's shortest outings of the season, 5 innings twice. June 16th against the Indians, a game in which he walked a season-high 6. And May 2nd against Milwaukee. He's working in the bottom half of the 5th here in Game 2. Mets have touched him up for 4 runs, 3 of those in the 1st. After a Granderson single, Wright doubled him home, and Daniel Murphy hit a 2-run shot. Way high, 2-2.
Granderson working the count.
On the ground into the shift, they had him played perfectly, and there's 1 down. Take a look at the art of performance presented by Jaguar. Johnny Cueto, Marcus Stroman, the matchup with the Royals taking their 2-0 lead to Toronto.
Well, Johnny Cueto coming off his best start, and Marcus Stroman, if it wasn't for him coming back from his knee issues, maybe Toronto's not as far as they are right now.
Here's David Wright. Run-scoring double in the 1st, struck out in the 3rd. The Mets captain and the longest tenured active player in Major League Baseball. That's after Chase Utley got traded by Philadelphia to Los Angeles. So David Wright with one team the longest among active players in baseball. It's got to be just a shade ahead of Ryan Howard.
After last night's game, Terry Collins spoke to Wright, said, "Are you all right?" Said, "Yes." "How about your back? Physically, are you all right?" He said, "Yeah, I'm not very good right now, but I feel fine."
He was fine in the first. A run-scoring double that got him on the board. And that is a called strike 3 for the second out here in the 5th. And here comes Daniel Murphy, and here's the stat cast of his first inning homer.
Look at that back knee.
Yeah, you called it right when you said he didn't quite get it. 90 miles an hour coming off the bat.
Sentiment of many fans here. Sign Murphy, who's a free agent after the season.
We saw the unexpected in the third when Murphy was walked intentionally with first base open, with Cespedes coming up.
That's a good swing right there.
Look at the difference in games and at bats.
60 fewer at bats.
Well, it has been some kind of run here in the 2015 postseason for Daniel Murphy. Defensively, great base running heads-up move in Los Angeles. And, of course, the power.
It's the game's best pitchers.
Yeah, when you take Kershaw deep twice, and Greinke, and Lester, and Arrieta, that's not a bad resume.
Travis Wood has thrown almost an entire game down there in the bullpen.
He looked like it on that shot. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
So you think he's been up more than twice?
Yes.
Another 2-2. Got him looking. Another 1-2-3 inning for Arrieta. It is a 4-0 game. Noah Syndergaard heads out for the 6th. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Everything Goodyear has learned making tires that go the distance inspires what they roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven. Jimmy Kimmel on hand to throw out the first pitch.
Shaking off already. Big Cubs fan, Bill Murray.
A look of concern on his face with the Cubs trailing in the series 1-0 and down in game 2, 4-0. Tommy La Stella pinch hitting now for Jake Arrieta. That'll match his shortest outing of the season, 5 innings. Gave up 4 runs, all earned. Walked 2, 1 intentionally, struck out 8. Gave up those 3 runs in the first inning. And then gave up only 1 more hit That was the Cespedes single that scored Granderson in the third. Two balls and a strike to LaStella.
Every time Syndergaard gets in a hitter's count, he's going with that two-seam fastball that's running away from the lefties.
He's got a lot of life on it.
Yeah, he does.
Fouled off the 98. 2-2. You're seeing right now why Joe Madden likes the at-bats that Tommy LaStella gives him.
Well, that's why he's been so good as a pinch hitter. He comes up with that short stroke.
It's matching them up against the right power guys.
In the air to center field. Cespedes with plenty of room, one down. Let's go down to the field. Sam Ryan, what you got?
Well, Ernie, Noah Syndergaard, we've seen him throw 97, 98, 99 tonight. His battery mate Travis d'Arnaud has also been behind the plate for Matt Harvey, Jacob deGrom, Steven Matz, who can also hit in the upper 90s. So to be able to catch those fastballs, look at this. There's extra laces on his catcher's mitt there. Some double knots as well. He said he had to do that this year because of the abuse that mitt takes. As for his hand, he said, there is a sting there, and in this cold, the sting lasts a little longer. Ouch.
Thank you, Sammy. It's one down here in the sixth, and the top of the Chicago order now in Dexter Fowler. 0 for 1. Drew a walk in the third. That's the only one issued by Syndergaard.
I'll tell you, though, as a catcher, you got to feel great when you can be the caretaker of such a young and talented staff.
On the ground into right field, base hit. Just the second base hit for the Cubs here in Game 2. And it comes with one out in the sixth. Time for Records and Milestones presented by Jim Beam. Drink smart. Kyle Schwarber steps to the plate. 4 postseason home runs before the age of 23. Pretty good list to be on right there. For more records and milestones, go to BleacherReport.com. Syndergaard has handled Schwarber tonight, 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. That ball gets away, and Fowler's at second.
We talked about the tail of the ball. It looked like it had a little extra movement on it. Wasn't expecting it to be low.
Called a wild pitch, but Travis probably tell you he has to handle that.
First time tonight, the Cubs have had a runner in scoring position. And there is activity in the Mets bullpen. Bartolo Colon, Jonathan Neese.
Because of that relief appearance on Los Angeles, the first sign of trouble, you knew the Mets were going to get their bullpen ready.
Schwarber takes down low, 2-0.
Four runs should seem like a lot at this ballpark, but not against this lineup.
We're going to see power against power right here. Fastball. With a 4-0 lead.
They bluff Fowler back to second.
If you're pitching right now, you shouldn't worry at all about Dexter Fowler. Concentrate on the hitter.
Schwarber waiting on a 2-0. Foul on a play. 2 balls and a strike. The Chicago Cubs in their postseason history have never come back to win when down by 4. It is a 4-0 game here in Game 2 of the National League Championship Series.
This Cubs team has been knocking down barriers all summer long.
Led by a great group of 20-somethings. And Schwarber is one of them.
Well, that's the one thing that's been in the favor of Syndergaard, is that he's been getting that little extra room off the outside part of the plate from home plate umpire Tim Timmons.
Could be that extra run on the ball that looks like it stays on the outside corner. But many hitters have questioned that tonight.
Missed with the curveball, and the count is full. 3-2. Another one of those young 20-somethings. Chris Bryant is on deck.
Boy, it's almost like Schwarber, every at bat, is getting a better read on Syndergaard, seeing it a little better. Not swinging at that breaking ball in the dirt.
Dexter Fowler with the lead at second. Payoff pitch to Schwarber. And he got him again. Pulled the string on Schwarber. 3rd strikeout of the night.
Well, what a sequence. First comes with that running fastball that gets past D'Arnaud, breaking ball in the dirt. Schwarber's ahead in the count. Misses a fastball down the middle. Gets the call from Timmons. Misses with a breaking ball, and then the one pitch he hadn't thrown, the entire sequence comes with the 3-2 change. That's really what you've seen this entire postseason, isn't it, Cal? These young Mets pitchers with the ability, especially on 3-2 counts, we saw with Adrian Gonzalez, now with Schwarber, to throw that change and a 3-2 count.
Yeah, Schwarber's at bats feel a lot like Adrian Gonzalez's bats against DeGrom. He had a good at bat. He laid off some pitches. And then 3-2 comes back with a 90-mile-an-hour changeup that just drops. Looks exactly like a fastball, but fools you by about 10 miles an hour.
Chris Bryant, an outstanding hitter on first pitch.
And with 2 outs, to see those 48 ribbies, 3rd in the majors. Fowler still out there at second. And Bryant takes a strike. He singled his first time, flying out to center in the 4th. Cubs trying to get on the board in a 4-0 game. Syndergaard has finished innings in style tonight.
Colin D'Arnaud out.
Flores came in early when they first got Fowler on second base. Say, okay, what are we using? It was interesting to me he didn't share that with Daniel Murphy. But many times you have the ability to change the signal by which part of the body you're touching. Could be as simple as first, second, third sign, depending on where you touch on your body. Might not have been about changing the sequence of signs. It might have been just talking about what to throw.
This will be the 99th pitch by Syndergaard, probably his last batter.
So he probably said, this is my last batter, let's make it a good one.
Yeah.
Ball's still exploding down the strike zone, isn't it?
Lots of movement.
The 2-1 to Bryant. In the dirt, 3 balls and 1 strike. Matt Harvey with the phone duty in the Mets dugout. He did it all last night. The 3-1 is drilled to left. Back toward that wall and off the wall. The Cubs are on the board as Chris Bryant doubles with 2 out. And it's 4-1. Boy, that ball was pounded.
Well, Ernie, you talked about Chris Bryant, 48 2-out RBIs during the regular season. It does it again.
It's a 3-1 fastball. The uppercut swing of his produces a top spin. And the ball still gets out there on the top spin and hits the wall, the top part of the wall.
Noah Syndergaard leaves to a thunderous ovation here at Citi Field. Jonathan Neese in relief.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
Five 2/3 innings for Noah Syndergaard. 1 earned run, the runner at second. Chris Bryant belongs to him as Jonathan Neese enters the game.
He was a starter for most of the season, pitching with a heavy heart tonight. Lost his grandmother that he was very close to. And on the off day, he'll be going back to Ohio to attend her funeral and then on to Chicago.
Throws a strike to Anthony Rizzo.
You think the lefty-lefty matchup will bother Rizzo. He's hitting .462 with runners in scoring position versus left-handed pitching.
And both of his home runs in the LDS came off lefties.
That's why Collins went with this matchup.
Rizzo didn't like that last call, but
1 ball and 2 strikes.
Darno does a nice job of presenting the low pitch.
You see Joe Madden's yelling to Tim Timms, the home plate umpire. He's now heard that on the tape that ball was down.
Stays downstairs 2-2.
You can see Timmons now peeking over at Madden.
Just got a piece to stay alive.
And Rizzo is a great low ball hitter. You've seen Neese has mostly thrown sinkers down. He's got a good cutter and a big curveball.
Chris Bryant, the runner at second. He doubled in the Cubs' run here in the inning. And that missed. And the count full. Fowler had singled with 1 out. After Schwarber struck out, Bryant doubled off the wall. And there he stands at second. Cubs down 4-1. And Rizzo goes down swinging to end the inning. Jonathan Neese pointed skyward, did his job. We are zipping right along into the bottom half of the 6th inning in Game 2 of the National League Championship Series. Travis Wood takes over for Jake Arrieta. Tommy La Stella stays in the game. He's at second. And Starlin Castro moves from second to short. So Javier Baez out of the game here in the 6th. Cespedes leads it off against Wood and takes a strike. Wood 5'11", 175, and that's up and in to Cespedes.
Wood's not a hard thrower. He's got to pitch in like that, get hitters off the plate. Started out as a starting pitcher this season, struggled, went in the bullpen, has been a strength for the Cubs.
That ball's hit to right and hit pretty well. Coghlan is back, leaping, and he makes the catch. We've seen a couple of beauties out there tonight. One from Granderson and this one from Coghlan. Up against the fence and right.
Looks like a changeup that Cespedes thinks he got the other way. Coghlan really knows where the fence is. Gets his left foot against the fence, uses it to brace him, and really makes a wonderful catch.
So Granderson did it to Coghlan. Coghlan did it to Cespedes. And here's Duda.
Cubs bullpen in the postseason, 22 strikeouts and only 1 walk.
That was one of Duda's best swings in a while right there. Found it straight back.
Justin Grimm up for the Cubs in the bullpen right now.
Breaking pitch down low from Travis Wood, who came up with the Cincinnati Reds. Remember his 3rd big league start. He had a perfecto going against Philadelphia. Carlos Ruiz spoiled it. Duda at the plate with 1 down. D'Arnaud on deck. Mets on top 4-1. They have chased Jake Arrieta. So Arrieta, who came in with the possibility of becoming the first Cubs pitcher in franchise history to win 3 games in a single postseason, won't happen tonight.
Yeah, good swing.
That's 2 good swings down this at bat for Duda.
Sometimes you can just tell the way he took the breaking balls. He's saying, I wish I had that one back. Don't get frustrated. Stay with it.
It's hard. Is it hard to do that and not press when you're 2 for 20 in a postseason? 2 for 21.
Yes. I'm trying to remember when I was 2 for 21. I didn't get too many postseason at bats.
Maybe you would have witnessed somebody going 2 for 21.
I just know that when you are swinging like that, you doubt yourself.
One of our graphic artists, Gretchen Caney, in a great mood today because it's Chevy Truck Month. Time to make a strong decision like choosing a Chevy Silverado. Chevrolet proud to be the official vehicle of Major League Baseball. 2 up, 2 down for Travis Wood here in the 6th. And here's D'Arnaud. Not actual size. Here comes the 0-1. No balls and 2 strikes to the Mets catcher.
Hey, important inning here for Wood and the Cubs. after scratching out a run. Wants to get his team back in the dugout, get that offense back on the field.
Here was Travis d'Arnaud last night. And a ball that just kept going and going. And get that big apple in straightaway center field. Another 0-2. Sales outside, 1-2. d'Arnaud 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out tonight.
Wood kind of jumps at you. Doesn't throw hard. 91 on that fastball. It gets a lot of the hitters swinging late on that fastball.
In foul territory, is there room over there for Rizzo? Yes, there is. Second straight game, Rizzo's gone over there in the first row and plucked one out. Good inning for Travis Wood. We head to the 7th in game 2. Follow every pitch of the postseason with MLB.com. At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Stay connected with highlights, replay reviews, scores, pitch tracking, live radio broadcasts, and more. Download the At Bat app today. Our crew tonight, producer Scott Cockrell, director Matt Lipp, and our replay producer is Jeff Randolph. Want to add an unofficial crew member to that list, too, Dr. Scott Kessler. Much thanks. The whole crew thanks you because we've, when you're a team and you're around a lot and somebody gets a bug and everybody starts sniffling and coughing and all that. And so thanks to Dr. Kessler, Dr. K, for the help this weekend.
See the numbers by Addison Reed with both Arizona and the Mets. And it's interesting that they've been able to bypass some of their bridge people in the last couple of games because of the extended work by Familia. But Collins is going to use them tonight.
Castro, Coughlin, Montero due here in the 7th. Swing and a miss by Castro. He's 0 for 2 with a couple of groundouts, the second of which was a little dribbler that nearly went foul up the first baseline, but Duda made a play and tagged him. Time is called at the very last second by Tim Timmons, just as Reed was into the motion. No balls and 2 strikes.
Reed had been the closer for the Chicago White Sox for a few seasons, traded over to Arizona, kind of lost his way, but then righted himself in the second half. And that's why the Mets traded for him, for bullpen depth. And then Steven Matz up in the bullpen for the Mets. A rookie left-hander.
That's not your normal bridge.
One 2 to Castro is lined to third. Into the glove of David Wright, 1 down. Chris Coughlin comes to the plate, and we have the stat cast on the catch he made at the wall off Cespedes. Coughlin himself was robbed earlier in the game by Curtis Granderson.
Still haven't determined if the ball's carrying out there in that part of the ballpark. It seems like it's not to me.
Unless your name is Daniel Murphy. And everything carries. Down low to Coughlin, 1-0. Now, you mentioned the success he had with the White Sox. He had a 40-save season with the White Sox. Did Addison Reed back in 13.
So during the season, when the starters go deep, he gives the bullpen sometimes some much-needed rest. At this stage, which ones need the rest and which ones need the feel for pitching?
Well, I think, you have to go to the guys that have kind of done it their whole career. Reed was, as Ernie said, 40 saves one season. Clippard has been a guy that's closed out games before also.
Popped him up. Wright wants it and has it. 2 up and 2 down.
A lot of little stutter steps by Wright, tracking the ball in the air. Comes down with it. The wind in stadiums can play tricks with the ball. It swirls inside. Sometimes it goes a different direction than what the flag is showing you it's going.
Montero follows the first pitch back 0-1. Pitcher's spot is due next. And Jorge Soler has a bat. Cubs looking for some late game magic here in game 2, trying to even the series. 3 runs in the first off Jake Arrieta. An early punch right in the mouth. Is there a superhero in the house for Chicago? No balls, 2 strikes.
See d'Arnaud every time he asks for that 0-2 pitch down the dirt, he gets it, points out to his pitcher to affirm that job well done.
You like that as a pitcher, Ron?
I think it is. Anytime you're working with a catcher, you like to be on the same page, and it makes you feel as though, you feel more confident when your catcher and you are on the same page.
The 2-2. Fouled straight back. We'll do that again. Another great crowd here at Citi Field. Had better than 44,000 last night, which was the second biggest crowd here behind the All-Star game. Missed down low, count full.
I like that habit of moving the ball behind in your back. Sometimes you'll set the grip early on and somebody can see it, whether it's a first base coach, or sometimes you can see it at home plate, which gives you an indication of what pitch you're going to throw. By moving it around, you don't get the grip until you actually start to put it in your glove.
Popped up. d'Arnaud makes the play. Addison Reed, a 1-2-3-7. Time to stretch at Citi Field. We welcome you back. It's time to go inside the booth, presented by IBM. Thanks for being with us tonight here on TBS. Glad you are. Ernie Johnson, Cal Ripken, Ron Darling. And the bulk of the damage all coming in the first inning of this game, Cal.
Well, it seems like bats have gone quiet here in the middle of the game, but they came out swinging really hard and unexpected from Arrieta.
Well, Jake Arrieta was the only starting pitcher for the Cubs that hadn't given up a run in the first inning. He gives up 3, and that's the difference in this game so far.
That guy Daniel Murphy getting it done again right in the middle of it. Curtis Granderson's been huge, and Murphy with the 2-run shot after the right run-scoring double. All of that happening in the first inning. They tacked one on in the third, and then Chicago on the board in the 6th. Noah Syndergaard went 5 2/3, and Jake Arrieta, 5 innings of work, matching his lowest output of the season.
It'll be interesting now if the Mets don't score in this inning, if you'll go with Tyler Clippard with a 3-run lead to try to bridge to Familia. That'll be the big decision for Collins and the Mets.
There are 2 guys who have made it go offensively for New York, Granderson and Murphy.
It feels like there are a whole lot more offense in the game. You look up on the board, 4 runs on 4 hits, 1 run on 3 hits, and we're in the bottom of the 7th. A lot of action in the first.
Here's Michael Conforto. Travis Wood begins his 2nd inning of work and throws a strike to the Mets left fielder.
There's another one of those bunts or fake bunts just to plant the thought you won't be able to shift completely.
Well, Conforto will be an everyday player at some point for the Mets, but only 14 at-bats this summer against left-handed pitching. Already a book on him as the shift is on.
One ball and 2 strikes. Conforto went to Oregon State. First-round pick in 2014, number 10 overall, a quick rise to the major leagues. And he's caught looking for the first out of the 7th.
Good job by Wood. This ball is supposed to be outside, but it ends up on the inside corner and gets the call from home plate umpire Tim Timmons.
Set him up away. I think Conforto thought one of the pitches that was called a strike was a little away. Now he's thinking, I can't cover both sides. Looks away and then gets one on the inside corner.
Here's Wilmer Flores. Wood has set down the first 4 Mets he's faced. Flores has had some success against Wood, 3 for 7. Has taken him deep, but he's behind 0-2. A couple of teams here missing the shortstops who began their playoff series as Flores takes a called 3rd strike. Ruben Tejada, of course, with the broken leg and the Chase Utley play. And Addison Russell with the hamstring issue. And Juan Lagares will pinch hit here in the 7th.
He'll pinch hit here against the lefty Wood, but also he will come in for defensive purposes in the 8th inning. Cespedes will move to left, or that's the way it's been most of the season for the Mets when they have a lead.
Up there hacking, 0-1.
Wood, who usually mixes up his pitches, is just coming straight fastball versus the Mets hitters.
Lagares 5 for 10 in this postseason. And again a hefty cut, 0-2. He's also scored 5 runs. He started 3 of the postseason games. This is the 6th in which he has appeared.
How many pitches does he have, Ronnie?
He went through about 4 or 5, didn't he? Faced 5 batters, struck out 3 of them so far.
Where's that Chevy pitch arsenal when you need it? Couldn't get him to chase. 1-2. Two balls and 2 strikes. Travis Wood working in his 2nd inning in relief of Jake Arrieta. A 22-game winner in the regular season, 2-0 in the postseason. And Wood strikes out the side in the 7th. Beck struck out 4 of the 6 he faced. We head to the 8th. The 2015 National League Championship Series coverage on TBS is presented by Exxon and Mobil. Top half of the 8th inning now at Citi Field. New York Mets trying to hold serve in the first 2 games of this series. It heads to Chicago for the next 3, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And Tyler Clippard becomes the 4th Mets pitcher of the night. Juan Lagares stays in the game in center field, and Cespedes moves from center to left.
Clippard started his career with the Yankees, did some of his best work with the Washington Nationals, went over to Oakland this winter, traded over to the Mets, and this is his most important inning in a Met uniform.
It will begin with a pinch hit appearance by Chris Denorfia. Denorfia often a late inning defensive replacement used by Joe Madden. Challenged, and he swung through it.
Clippard has not pitched a lot, so had some back issues late in the season. Maybe he got that fastball back.
No balls and 2 strikes.
The changeup, though, is his money pitch.
Clippard appeared in Game 1 and Game 4 of the division series against the Dodgers. Clippard to the plate with the 0-2. Popped up. Daniel Murphy. Blowing in the wind. 1 down.
It's good to see all the fielders are having the same reaction on the fly balls.
Share your play ball moments on Twitter and Instagram using hashtag playball for a chance to have them appear on MLB's social channels. Between social channels and at-bat app, you can put through the ringer here. 1 down. Here's Tommy La Stella.
Clippard features a fastball, curveball, and change.
On the ground to first. Duda with the stop and the flip. 2 down.
Like you said, Cal, even the bullets right at people.
It's the part when you're unlucky. There's a changeup right here. Estella's all over it. Duda flashing his glove work down there. Makes sure he catches it. Makes a nice flip to Clippard.
Top of the order now, and Dexter Fowler. Clippard made a great first impression with this team, didn't he, Ronnie? I mean, first 20 games, lights out.
ERA 0.46 in the first 20 games. After that, though, some injuries and he struggled. This is a huge hitter, though, with Schwarber and Bryant coming up.
Fowler grounded out in the first, walked in the third, singled in the sixth, moved to second on a wild pitch, and then scored on the Chris Bryant double off the wall. That's all of the Chicago scoring here in Game 2. Missed the inside corner, 2-1.
Good call by Tim Timmons. That pitch missed.
With Clippard, it is his changeup that sets up his fastball. He will throw that at any count. The changeup, that's his out pitch. I can imagine here you're going to see the fastball.
(3-1) into left center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Lagares hustles it in, and Fowler with a 2-out hit.
Fowler got in the fastball count and made the most of it.
Fastball that's a little up, stayed on it, hit a line drive to left center field. 2 good at bats, the last 2 at bats for Dexter.
Surprised Familia's not up. Not for Schwarber, but for Bryant next.
Schwarber stands in with 2 down, a runner on. He homered in the 8th last night.
I mean, you see Steven Matz is up, but you think Steven Matz is getting his throwing in for his start. Terry Collins said he was just going to use him for inning if they were 3 runs ahead or 3 runs behind. They are ahead here, but people on base.
Schwarber has struck out 3 times tonight, but with 1 swing, he can bring the Cubs within a run. That's over for a strike. The change at 80.
The problem for these Mets relievers before you get to Familia is that the starters throw harder than the relievers. Usually it's the other way around. Starters are throwing 97, 98. The relievers are coming throwing 92 or 93.
Fowler edges away at first. Schwarber waiting on a 2-1 from Clippard. 2-2.
Schwarber's a little off, doesn't know what to expect. 2-0 changeup. So he thinks he might throw me another changeup and then throws a fastball right by him.
44,000 plus on their feet. In the air to left field. Easy for Cespedes. And that does it for the Cubs in the 8th. Big inning for Tyler Clippard. We head to the bottom half. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Everything Goodyear has learned making tires that go the distance inspires what they roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven. Top of the Mets order due here in the bottom half of the 8th, and they will face Clayton Richard, left-hander.
Well, Richard started out with Pittsburgh this year, purchased for cash from Pittsburgh by the Cubs. Done a nice job in their bullpen. Also had 3 starts. facing Curtis Granderson, who's done it all tonight. Base hit, a couple stolen bases. Maybe he'll finish this night with an attempted bunt here with the shift on.
He has scored 2 of the 4 Chicago runs. Richard into the wind and throws a strike, 0-1. And 2, and now Starlin Castro, the only Cub on the left side of the infield, retreats to his normal spot at short.
Way in and up. All fastballs.
Richard appeared in game 1 last night. He's been in 3 games in this postseason. Pitched an inning. And that's outside. 3-2.
Curtis again working the count. Eight hits with 2 strikes in the postseason for Curtis.
Mets lead at 4-1, 4 hits aside in this one. 3 first-inning runs. May do the trick for the Mets here in game 2. Bouncer to first. Rizzo with the flip to Richard for the first out. Matt Weiner, what you got?
AJ, it's amazing how a career can turn around. Clayton Richard hadn't pitched in the majors since 2013 when the Cubs purchased his contract from the Pirates. Made his debut in July, but they designated him for assignment about 3 weeks later. He barely got back home to Indiana before the Cubs called him back to the big league club, and here he is pitching in the NLCS.
All right, thank you, Matt. David Wright steps in with 1 down here in the 8th. Line drive at third, and Bryant makes the play. Tonight's upcoming schedule presented by State Farm. We will fly to Chicago tomorrow, then be with you from Wrigley Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday if we need it. And games 6 and 7 would be back here in New York if necessary. Daniel Murphy. 2-run homer in the first off Jake Arrieta. His 5th of the postseason. Here it was in the first. Went down and got that breaking pitch from Arrieta. And got it just inside the foul pole.
Hits a homer foul, and then hits a homer fair.
Base hit to left. With 44,542 chanting his name, he singles with 2 out. And on this chilly night in New York, Joe Madden makes his way to the mound here in the 8th. And Pedro Strop will get the call. Richard retired the first two, then Murphy reached. We'll be back right after this. All right, baseball fans, follow the postseason right from your phone with Team Stream by Bleacher Report. Get the latest MLB news, scores, and highlights all in the palm of your hand. Download Team Stream on the App Store or Google Play today. Pedro Strop is on in relief.
One of the biggest parts of that bullpen. Strop has been unbelievable. He came over with Arrieta from the Baltimore Orioles to this Cubs team. Good fastball, good slider.
Max Strop came over with Arrieta from Baltimore for Scott Feldman, Steve Clevenger. Those 76 appearances, tied for the fifth most in the National League. And he will face Yoenis Cespedes. Murphy edges away from first. Strop misses 1-0. You knew it wouldn't take long to get that guy ready. Big Jeurys Familia.
He's saying I only need 3 outs tonight. He was geared for that fastball.
Strop appeared in 3 games in the division series against the Cardinals. Worked 2 2/3. And he's trying to keep the Mets right where they are and give the Cubs a chance in the 9th. A 1-2 in the dirt. And Montero kept it in front.
That was a really nice block. This ball lands way out in front of home plate. He gets his body over, keeps the angle of the chest protector, and the ball just stays right in front of him.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Murphy with a lead at first, 2 down, as we play in the bottom half of the 8th.
This seems to be his count, 2-2. Both homers in the NLDS on a 2-2 count.
One of those he hit here into the second deck against the Dodgers in that 13-7 win. This is to right center field. And playable for Coughlin. And that'll do it for the Mets in the 8th. We head to the 9th. Cubs down 3. '15 National League Championship Series coverage on TBS is presented by Exxon and Mobil. League Championship Series action continues tomorrow on FS1 as the Royals and Blue Jays go north of the border for Game 3. Game 4 will be Tuesday afternoon. Game 3 in this series will be played at Wrigley Field on Tuesday night here on TBS. Games 3, 4, and 5, if they need it, will be played at Wrigley. Jeurys Familia trying to nail it down for the New York Mets, who are trying to hold serve in this series, win the first 2 games at home. Chris Bryant leads it off, swings at the first pitch.
In the postseason, the opposition is 1 for 21 against Familia. Montero with a hit last night.
He had set down the first 16 he faced in this postseason. And inside, he misses 1-1. Not much to show for history against Familia, with a 3-2 here in the ninth. 1-2. Bryant has knocked in the only Chicago run tonight. Came in the 6th inning, a 2-out double that scored Dexter Fowler. And Chicago trying to produce some 9th inning magic here in Game 2 of the NLCS. In the air to right field. Granderson has plenty of room, 1 out. Familia in his save opportunities with a 1-run lead, 16 for 19, with a 2-run lead, 17 for 19. 3-run lead, 13 for 13. They lead by 3 here in Game 2. And here's Rizzo.
All I know is we're getting very familiar with Familia.
Oh, you've been sitting that one on that one, Iron Man. You just pick your spot, big fella. He was on last night, and the Cubs actually brought the tying run to the plate in the ninth. Daniel Murphy made that great diving stop to end the game. Two and one.
Even the 2-0 fastball, because of the sinking action, makes the hitter look awkward at the plate.
You don't usually get much sinking action high in the strike zone. I tended to buckle Rizzo a little bit.
Two balls and 2 strikes.
His velocity is a little down tonight, too. Not the movement on his fastball, though.
Bounce to first. Duda. There's the race to the bag. And he lost that race. Rizzo beat him to the bag.
What great hustle by Rizzo. Backing up is Duda. And Familia was never going to get there in time.
I wondered which one happened first. Did the foot race start and then Familia stop coming? Or did Familia just wasn't going to get there?
I don't think he was going to get there in time. Mistake by the Mets. Great hustle by Rizzo.
So a 1-out infield single brings Castro to the plate. Let's see if that lapse will cost New York here in the ninth.
You must have heard me talk about his velocity. Last 2 pitches, 97 and 96.
Familia ahead 0-2. Cubs need traffic. Another look.
Familia
on the ball to Duda.
He just fell asleep on the play.
They didn't read it well, didn't get off. Duda didn't have any choice but to try to take it himself.
Here comes the 0-2. On the ground to short. One play is to first, and they get him. Flores made a nice play on the charge and threw a strike to first. Rizzo moves to second, but now 2 out here in the ninth. Stay tuned after the game for the postseason show on TBS presented by the Lincoln Motor Company. Cubs down to their last bullet. Chris Coughlin at the plate.
Almost all seeking fastballs from Familia in this inning.
Coughlin was robbed of a home run by Curtis Granderson. Back in the second. He's 0 for 3. Trying to keep the Cubs afloat here in the ninth.
We've had a number of these meetings here today with the Cubs. You got to think that as soon as someone gets on second base, there's some confusion in what we're using.
There was the play by Granderson in the second. No balls, 1 strike. Runner at second with 2 down. A nervous anticipation falling over Citi Field. And then the noise starts up again. They're a strike away from a 2-0 lead. Two balls and 2 strikes. Familia 6'3", 240. Just turned 25. Looking for his 4th save of this postseason. Tap toward first. He's going to get over there this time. And that is out number 3. The Mets are 2 wins away from the World Series. But they're going to Chicago for the next 3. They take the 2-0 series lead by beating Jake Arrieta, whose only other road loss this year was May 7th at St. Louis.
Well, that's the real issue here, is that the Mets have held serve at Citi Field. They're going to Wrigley, but they've already fired the Lester bullet. They fired the Arrieta bullet. The Mets have DeGrom in the wings.
I don't know if anyone really expected them to win both games with that matchup.
Well, Cubs had 10 home runs against the St. Louis Cardinals in those 4 games. Only 1 in the first 2 here.
Let's go down to the field to Sam Ryan, who's with the guy who's in the middle of everything again tonight, Curtis Granderson.
That's right, Curtis Granderson doing just about everything tonight, but got to talk about that play in the second. It's cold, it's windy. Chris Coughlin gave that ball a ride. You read it perfectly. Tell me about the read there.
Well, a combination of being deep in general. I know these guys swing the bats and can drive the ball very well. Plus, you got Noah Syndergaard that throws hard. A combination of some balls that are going to drive. Happened to be deep, didn't have to go too far because the fence was right there. Timed it up, was able to go up and reel it in.
You get on base in the first, you score, and David Wright's double. His back comes around. But in the third, the walk, then Arrieta on the mound. The stolen base to put yourself in scoring position. Another stolen base. Tell me about the thought process there.
We talked about it prior to the game. We said we might be able to run today. If we get an opportunity to do it, let's see what happens. And actually, the stolen base from second to third, Murphy got on base and said, hey, go on the second pitch. I said, all right, let's go ahead and do it on the second pitch. So Murphy was the one telling me to go there.
Murphy having so much fun. You guys go to Chicago up 2-0 now. How much fun is this team having?
Oh, it's great, but at the same time, we definitely can't take anything for granted. When we go to Chicago, it's going to be their home ballpark. Their fans are going to be in it. They're going to be loud. They're going to be energetic. Another tough ball game when we get over there on Tuesday.
Your hometown.
Looking forward to it. Get a chance to see some friends and family and get something good to eat.
Okay, have some fun. Thanks a lot.
Will do. Thank you very much.
Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Sammy. Curtis Granderson getting it done in the field on the base paths at the plate. And Daniel Murphy with a long ball again here in game 2. Back to wrap things up from Citi Field right after this.